up guys, Mandabug here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I dyed organic Polworth comb top with walnut hull powder. So here we go. For this video, I'm going to be using some of the contents of the November Paradise Fibers Fiber of the Month Club, and that is the 6 ounces of organic Polworth and the ½ ounce of walnut hull powder and the little tea sachet bag that was included to put the powder in. What we will not be using for this is a mordant. Walnut hull powder is a substantive dye, meaning it doesn't require a mordant to dye the fiber. So that did come in this kit, but I will not be using it in this video. So we're going to go straight to preparing the dye. So I have my walnut hull powder here, and I'm just going to put it in the little tea bag. You don't want that walnut hull powder getting into your fiber when you're dyeing, so putting it in a little bag like this is helpful. I'm going to do it inside my pot. All right. The next step is to fill the pot up with water. I used hot water from my tap, and I started using this cup, and I realized it was going to take a lot longer to fill it up than I wanted, so I grabbed a small pot. I just didn't want to fill the giant pot up with water and have to carry that around in my kitchen. Once your pot's full with water, you can go ahead and put the temperature on high and bring that mixture up to a low boiling, like a simmer, and then you want to simmer it for 2 hours. And about halfway through, I popped in and took up a shish kebab stick and kind of agitated that packet. Then you want to let it cool overnight. So here is my mixture after cooling overnight, and I just put my dry fiber right on top of it. I didn't mordant the fiber, I didn't soak the fiber. It's not necessary with this natural dyeing technique. I just pressed gently on the fiber to see how much it would absorb, and I found out I needed to add more water. So if you need to add more water at this point, pull your fiber away from the edges of your pot and try to put the water in that pocket that's created so you're not pouring water directly on your fiber. This will help keep the fiber agitation to a minimum. Once you've got your pot full, go ahead and turn the heat on and bring it up to a low simmer so we can start dyeing that fiber. I simmered my fiber for about an hour and a half. Once your fiber's done simmering, you will need to let it cool down again. I recommend waiting overnight, but you can just wait until it's room temperature. So then I went ahead and filled a separate bucket up full of room temperature water, and I just lifted the fiber out of its dye pot and kind of let the excess water drain out as much as possible. It's going to help in the rinsing process. Once it stopped dripping, I went ahead and gently placed the fiber in the new clear pot of water, and I just kind of let it soak in there itself. You really don't want to be agitating the fiber if possible. Once it was done fully absorbing the water and getting a bit of a rinse, I went ahead and pulled it out, again letting it drip before moving it. I dumped that first rinse water out, and then we're going to have to fill it up again and rinse this fiber a couple times just to get all that excess dye and matter out. I filled the bucket back up with room temperature water and added just a little bit of soak wool wash to the mixture just to give the wool a good wash and help any of that excess dye come out. Then I went ahead and put the fiber back into that pot now with the wool wash, and I let this mixture soak for a ½ hour just to let that wool wash get in there and the extra dye to really rinse out. After 30 minutes, I removed the fiber from the pot and I set it in the sink to kind of let some of the excess water run down the drain. Once most of the water had went down the drain, I then took the fiber and hung it up in my bathroom. I have a dehumidifier in my house, so it actually dried pretty quickly and you can see it nice and fluffy. I went ahead and braided it up just to get an idea of how it looks, and here it is. Then it was time for spinning, so I didn't want to pre-draft this fiber at all. I've never spun Polworth before, so I just stripped it into these manageable pieces, and then I just went ahead and spun it like I normally do, which is like a weird assisted short forward spin. It's a woolen short forward, I would call it. And this is what my bobbin looked like after I was done, and I did a traditional 3-ply. And here is the resulting yarn. So I'm really pleased with the way that this entire project went, the dyeing, the spinning, the finished yarn. I ended up with 286 yards for 169 grams after all was said and done. And I just think it's a lovely natural shade of brown that resulted from that walnut hull powder. I do believe using more powder would result in a deeper, darker color, as well as using a mordant's going to modify that color, but it also may have an impact on the softness of your fiber, so keep that in mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!